Joining me now is everyone's favourite Queenslander, National Senator Matt Canavan. Matt, Labor's war on coal has just got another victim. Liddell Power Station, has closed now after 52 years of service to the people of New South Wales. You're saying that the effects of this closure are already being felt. Explain how.
Well, it would seem such, Rita. The energy market obviously is very complex, but today, the day that the Liddell coal-fired power station shut, there were a number of market notices put out by the energy regulator saying there was an energy deficit in New South Wales today and tomorrow. So what this means is that the energy regulator is always forecasting and looking at whether supply is going to meet demand. If that doesn't happen, your lights will go out, so it's very important. And over this today and for tomorrow as well, they issued a number of notices saying there was a lack of reserve. What's in their technical terms, a lack of reserve energy, which could lead to the lights going out if it's not fixed. And so these have become quite common in recent years. Only in recent years, 10, 15 years ago, they were very, very rare. Now we get these lack of reserve notices quite often. But the fact that these were flying thick and fast in New South Wales seems to indicate that the Liddell coal-fired power station had something to do with it. New South Wales was also in an energy deficit today of about 1,000 megawatts, which is what Liddell supplied. That means it was importing that 1,000 megawatts from other states. And it goes to, you just got to ask the question, what happens when the coal-fired power station shut down in Victoria and in Queensland where New South Wales is getting its power from? Where is it going to get its power from then? Maybe we need to put those nuclear submarines in the Sydney Harbour and run a big extension cord in to keep our lights on.
Well, I don't know, maybe we can ask Twiggy Forrest, because he's come out today, the billionaire, and said we should embrace the closure of coal plants. He said it's also a really happy day. This joint has to close.
Well,
Twiggy says we don't need coal anymore, Matt.
Well, I'm sure Twiggy can afford his power bills. I don't think he sweats too much about each quarter. When it turns up, he'll be right. For most of your viewers out there, though, it's probably a bit of pain lately seeing the power bill go up and up every quarter. And keep in mind, we're always told, Rita, that renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy. It's like a mantra these people put themselves to sleep by. The renewable energy is the cheapest form of energy. Well, if it is the cheapest form of energy, why does my power bills keep going up every time we seem to install more of it? The more solar and wind we install in this country, the higher our power bills have gone. And this is not just a phenomenon that's somehow impacted Australia. It's happened in every country in the world that has installed large amounts of unreliable solar power and wind power. They end up with higher power prices. And so the science is in. The science is very much in on solar and wind energy. It doesn't work. It requires constant backup, and all it delivers is higher power bills for the suffering poor.
You're very right there, but I think we alone in Australia are still under the false notion that renewables are cheaper. I think the rest of the world has figured out that if you do go down this road, it comes with a price. But in Australia, all we hear is that renewables are the cheapest form of energy. And I think most people accept that, despite the evidence you just pointed out, that our prices continue to soar as we invest more in this sector. Now, in Melbourne today, I saw some lefties losing it right outside my window. They were scaling the Melbourne Arts Centre, saying that the world's ending, the Great Barrier Reef is dying, we're all going to die. Let's have a look.
There is no denying that coral is dying. There is no denying that coral is dying.
And yet the Great Barrier Reef has recorded its highest hard coral cover in 36 years. That was last year. And according to a poll from the Australian Environment Foundation that came out this week, less than 3% know this. How can that be? How can there be such ignorance about such an important issue? No wonder these lefties are depressed if they think the Great Barrier Reef is dying.
Well, Rita, what really frustrates me is these obviously well-intentioned activists have no idea what's happening in the Great Barrier Reef. Where I'm coming from you right now tonight, I'm only a few kilometres from the Great Barrier Reef. Indeed, I ran down there this afternoon. It's only 4 k's down to the reef, and it was a nice run. And I can assure my very concerned fellow citizens there in Melbourne that the reef is doing very, very well. In fact, as you mentioned, it has record coral cover. And I just invite those activists, why don't you come up and scale? We've got one of those spiderweb playground type things. You get up pretty high. I get a bit worried when the kids get up the top of it. Looks a bit like your art centre. It's right on the beach. Scale that, protest that, and we can all stand below it and educate you about exactly what's happening on the reef, because we are sick and tired up here of people who know nothing about the Great Barrier Reef. And some of them would never have been here. Hardly anyone's coming to our resort islands anymore. They all say they love the reef. Well, why are all the resorts dying at the Whitsundays and other areas? Because none of them spend their money up here. They fly over us and go to Europe and America, and they have no idea at all about the actual science on the ground, which shows that coral cover is at record levels on the Great Barrier Reef. And so all of this fear-mongering is completely in error. And all of the policies, the very costly policies we adopt to put red tape on farmers, to stop development in North Queensland, is all futile, because it's obviously not, that development is not and has not had a big impact on the Great Barrier Reef.
Matt Canavan, thank you so much for joining me tonight.